How wheelbarrows are made from used oil drums. The shocking truth behind this essential tool. Have you ever wondered where that wheelbarrow that every bricklayer uses comes from? The same one that's in your garage right now, covered in dry cement and dirt? The answer will surprise you in a way you never imagined. Imagine for a second, old oil drums, those rusty barrels abandoned in scrap yards, being transformed into tools that build houses, buildings, and even entire dreams. But hold on, because the story you're about to discover goes far beyond simple recycling. We're talking about places where the heat melts not only the metal, but also any idea you had about workplace safety. Get ready for a journey that will make you look differently at this tool that is so common, so present, but so unknown in its true origin. In the dusty streets of Dhaka, Bangladesh, there is a hidden world that few know about. There, men like Hassan, Miguel, and Ravi wake up before dawn to begin a job that demands strength, skill, and impressive courage. They take used oil drums, those metal containers that once stored fuel, chemicals, and who knows what else, and transform them into wheelbarrows. But here's the detail no one tells you. These drums still have residue, still smell of oil, and are still dangerous. And yet, with basic tools and in sheds without adequate ventilation, these professionals cut, shape, and weld each piece with impressive precision. The noise of the electric saws mixes with the sound of hammers hitting anvils, creating an industrial symphony that echoes through the neighborhood. But do you really know what's behind that wheelbarrow that costs so little at the hardware store? Is it worth saving money when the manufacturing history is so extreme? The process begins with the collection of the drums. Old trucks arrive loaded with stacked barrels, all used, all marked by time and hard work. Hassan examines each one with experienced eyes, searching for those that still have a good structure, without large holes or excessive rust. He taps the side of the drum with a screwdriver and listens to the sound it makes. That's how he knows if the metal is still firm or if it's already too weak. There's no machine to do this, no scientific test. It's all based on experience, on knowledge passed down from father to son, from master to apprentice. After being selected, the drums are dragged to an open area where the real work begins. And that's where things get really interesting. Where are you watching our video now, and what is your name? With an old circular saw, which rattles and makes a deafening noise, Miguel begins to cut the drum in half. Sparks fly everywhere, illuminating the dark environment of the shed. There is no adequate face shield, no complete safety equipment. He uses only simple glasses and unwavering determination. The smell of burnt metal permeates everything, clinging to clothes, skin, and lungs. But he continues, cutting with millimeter precision, because he knows that any mistake can ruin the entire drum and represent a loss. The top of the barrel becomes the cart's tray, that concave part perfect for carrying soil, sand, and concrete. But before becoming a cart, this piece needs to be cleaned. And then comes another process that will shock you. They use fire. That's right, they set fire to the inside of the drum to burn off the oil residue. The flames rise high, the heat is intense, and the black, toxic smoke rises into the sky without any kind of filter or environmental control. Meanwhile, Ravi is in another part of the workshop preparing the metal structures. Common iron bars, the kind used in construction, are cut and shaped to form the cart's chassis. He uses an old blowtorch that runs on regular bottled gas. The blue and orange flame licks the metal, heating it until it becomes malleable enough to be bent. With a simple mold made of pieces of wood and welded iron, he presses the hot bar until it forms the perfect U-shape that will support all the weight. Sweat drips down his face, mixed with soot and metal dust. The temperature in the shed easily exceeds 40 degrees, but no one stops. There is no air conditioning, no extended rest. It's continuous work because every minute stopped is money lost. And you know what's most incredible? These men do it with genuine pride, because they know their work is essential to the construction industry throughout the country. If you're enjoying this incredible journey behind the scenes of artisanal manufacturing, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications too, because we bring you exclusive content about industrial and artisanal processes that you won't see anywhere else. Your subscription helps us continue showcasing these incredible stories of hard work and dedication. And share it with that friend who also enjoys seeing how things are really made. Now comes the welding part, and this is where the magic really happens. Hassan, who has already finished preparing the drum tray, positions the metal structure that Ravi shaped. With a basic electric welder, one of those that make a loud noise and release intense sparks, he begins to join the pieces. Each weld point needs to be perfect because it will support hundreds of kilos of weight. There is no room for error. If the weld is weak, the cart could break in the middle of a construction site, cause accidents and injure someone. That's why, even working in extreme conditions, these professionals take quality very seriously. They test each joint, pull, push, and hammer to ensure it's firm. It's quality control done by eye, by strength, and by years of experience doing the same thing every day. While the main structure is being welded, another worker prepares the wheels. And here's another surprise. Many of these wheels also come from recycling. Old bicycle, motorcycle, and even small car tires are reused. The metal rims are hammered until they are round again, and the tires are patched with homemade vulcanized rubber. Nothing is wasted, everything is used to its fullest potential. It's a lesson in sustainability that happens naturally, not out of modern environmental awareness, but out of pure economic necessity. Every penny saved on materials means the difference between profit and loss at the end of the month. The wheel axle is made of solid iron bars, cut to the right size and fitted into bearings repurposed from other old machines. Everything is adjusted manually until it rotates smoothly and quietly. Once the frame is ready, it's time to make the handles. You know those two handles you hold to push the cart? Well, they also come from old pipes or straight iron bars. They are cut to the ideal length, the ends are heated and flattened to create a larger contact surface with the main structure, and then firmly welded. Some more meticulous manufacturers even wrap the handles with insulating tape or pieces of old rubber to make them more comfortable to hold. It is this kind of attention to detail, even working in such difficult conditions, that shows the true professionalism of these people. They are not just assembling carts, they are creating tools that will last for years, that will help build houses, schools, hospitals. Painting is the final step, and here too there are surprises. There is no modern paint booth with exhaust fans and air filters. Painting takes place outdoors or in simple covered areas. Using wide brushes or old manual paint guns, workers apply common automotive paint, usually in green, blue, or red. The paint has a strong, toxic smell, but it's part of the process. 2 or 3 coats are applied to ensure protection against rust and to give that beautiful finish that attracts the buyer. While the paint dries in the sun, they begin preparing the next batch of drums. It's a continuous production line, where each person knows exactly what to do, where there is no wasted time. But here is the most important reflection of all. When you see a cheap wheelbarrow in the store, you never imagine all the hard work that exists behind it. You never think about the calloused hands that cut that metal, the lungs that breathe that fumes, the sweat poured under the scorching sun. This wheelbarrow that seems so simple is, in fact, a testament to human resilience, to creativity in transforming trash into a useful tool, to professional dedication even in the most adverse conditions. Thousands of wheelbarrows are produced every month in small workshops scattered throughout Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and even in Brazil, in states like São Paulo, Minas Gerais, and Rio Grande do Sul, where these small artisanal factories still exist. And each piece carried in this process also carries the story of the person who made it. In the narrow alleys of Karachi, for example, 14 and 15-year-olds already master machines that would be prohibited for minors in many countries. They work amidst sparks and deafening noise, without gloves, without goggles, without any real protective equipment. The welding melts the surrounding air, soot covers the skin like a second layer, and smoke invades the chest as if each breath were a battle. Even so, they continue. Because there, in that hot shed, lies the livelihood of the entire family. In India, the scenarios are repeated, but with even more precariousness. Makeshift workshops next to large landfills receive tons of scrap metal daily. It is from there that the raw metal comes, often broken, rusty, twisted. The workers need to separate, clean, cut and shape all of this manually, using worn saws and hammers that have been passed down through generations. Recycling is done in such unsanitary conditions that many develop respiratory problems before the age of 30. Even so, they continue because stopping means hunger. And in Brazil, although conditions are better, the reality is still far from ideal. In industrial regions of the interior of São Paulo or the south of the country, small family factories have kept the craft of making wheelbarrows alive for decades. These are companies that started with a single hammer, an anvil, and a dream. Brazilian workers also face extreme heat, noise, minor metal cuts, and occasional burns. But there is a very particular pride there. The pride of knowing that that piece, that weld, that carefully fitted wheel will help someone the next day, whether in construction, agriculture, commerce, or the hard work that moves the country. And there is a detail that many ignore. Most of these cheap wheelbarrows sold in large stores do not come from large robotic industries. They emerge precisely from these small spaces, these improvised workshops, these anonymous artisans who transform scrap metal into tools. The finish may not be perfect. The paint may have minor flaws. But the function is there, and so is the history. When you push a wheelbarrow across a construction site, carrying cement, bricks, or earth, you rarely stop to imagine how many kilometers that tool has traveled before reaching your hands. How many people have touched that metal, how many cuts have been made, how many hammer blows have been struck, how many risks have been taken. And perhaps it is precisely this invisible part that makes everything more valuable. Knowing that behind a simple object lies a network of survival. A web of lives that depend on this process. Men and women who found in steel a way to support their children, keep their homes standing, and not give up even when everything seemed to crumble around them. Because in the end, a wheelbarrow is not just a tool. It is a symbol of human strength, a symbol of improvisation that works, a symbol of the courage of those who work without recognition. And perhaps the next time someone looks at a cheap wheelbarrow on the shelf, instead of thinking, "This must be fragile," think, "This passed through the hands of someone who didn't give up on life." And for that reason alone, it already carries a value that no label can show. The end result? A sturdy, functional wheelbarrow, capable of withstanding years of hard work on construction sites. Yes, the manufacturing conditions are extreme. Yes, the workers face absurd heat, lack of adequate safety equipment, and exposure to chemicals. But it's also true that these professionals are masters at what they do. They know metal like no one else. They know exactly where to weld, how to cut, what pressure to apply. It's knowledge that you don't learn in technical school, that isn't in any manual. It's practical wisdom, developed through years of hard work and dedication. And you know what's most fascinating? Many of these workers feel genuine pride in what they produce. Hassan, Miguel, Ravi, and so many others wake up every day knowing that their work makes a difference. That without these simple wheelbarrows, works stop, constructions are delayed, projects never get off the ground. They are an essential part of a larger machine, and they perfectly understand its value. When you buy a wheelbarrow at an affordable price, you're taking home not just a tool, but this whole story of transformation, overcoming challenges, and honest work. So the next time you see a wheelbarrow, whether in your garage, on a construction site, or in a hardware store, remember this story. Think of the old oil drums being cut under the hot sun, the sparks flying as the metal is welded, the smell of paint drying in the open air. Think about the people who dedicate their lives to transforming scrap metal into essential tools. And maybe you'll look at that common object with different eyes, with more respect, with more admiration. That's the beauty of handcrafted work in extreme conditions. It reveals the best of humanity's ability to adapt, create, and produce even when everything seems to be against us. It reveals that we don't need automated factories and perfect environments to create quality things. Sometimes all we need is knowledge, dedication, and the will to make it happen. And have you ever stopped to think about how many objects in your daily life have similar stories? How many tools, utensils, and equipment went through artisanal processes before reaching you? In the next video, we'll explore another common object with an equally fascinating manufacturing history. Don't miss it, because we're going to take you inside another artisanal workshop where the impossible becomes reality every day.